Today, we are talking about the family. I am so passionate about the family because it is the foundation of everything I am doing. If the family gets it right, the work is a lot easier for me. So I know you would want to watch this. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back to start the show fully. Welcome back. This is Teens Time. Today we are talking about how we parents can discover our children's talent and then harness it. Today I have with me in the studio fantastic parents who are doing just that. Help me welcome Mr. and Mrs. James, and their kids are here. You're welcome, sir. Thank you, ma, for being here. Okay, I'm curious. I really want to get to know all about your family. You have 3 kids and they're all here. Okay, I know your kids are super talented.
Ooh, thanks.
And they started writing. Your first daughter, Sharon, who is here with me, she started writing at the age of what?
5+.
5+, okay. And this is her book?
Yeah.
Okay, Freedom. And then your second daughter is Oloma. Oloma started writing at the age of what?
Almost the same time that the publicity of the senior sister's room was on, she started writing.
Wow.
But I had this little challenge. I didn't want it to be as if I was like pushing her.
Both of them,
so
okay.
I just decided to cool down on it.
Okay.
But her book eventually came out on her 10th birthday.
Okay, okay. And you didn't feel bad? Okay,
No,
okay.
she did though, honestly, she did. At the point I discovered that she was like withdrawing herself.
Yeah.
And that was actually why I was trying to push her more. When I discovered she was withdrawing herself, I felt, okay, if I don't do something on time,
Yeah.
it's going to affect her psyche.
Yes,
so
yes.
I kind of encouraged her to get together.
So tell me, how did you get to know, you saw your daughter writing. At what age did you discover that?
Let me start by saying I had a special love for my first child. Let me put it that way. Even before she was born.
I hope they're not going to feel bad.
Even before she was born, I fell in love with the child, and I was like, whether male or female, it's going to be a favorite.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah, it's natural.
But don't take it out of board because I've heard issues of favoritism.
So, for example, I gave her the name Ebube even before I discovered the sex. So
Okay.
I was like, male, female is going to be Ebube. Now, eventually, when she started growing up, I'm a writer.
Okay.
I do a lot of writing.
Oh, it runs in the blood.
Yeah, it runs in the blood, so to say. I remember that particular night, I was working late. I was working on a book, and it was around 11, 12, and I kept screaming at her, go to bed. And she said, no, Dad, I'm writing.
Ooh.
Now, initially, when she said I'm writing, it didn't really make sense to me. I was like, she's just disturbing me. Then, I don't know if I have time, let me tell you the story.
Yeah.
I had a challenge growing up. I remember the first time, when I finished secondary school, and I told my dad that I did a book. My first book was when I finished secondary school. I wanted to see the Minister of Health then, Olukoyede Asomputi. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I want to go and see Professor Olukoyede Asomputi. And my dad was like,
What kind of boldness is that?
he didn't believe it. He was like, what are you talking about? Besides, I schooled in the East, in Abia. I just came into Lagos. I was just about 3 weeks old in Lagos. I knew practically nowhere. And my dad laughed and he left for work. Honestly, I dressed up. I didn't know what Belende was, but I just came out, took a mobile bus, and I found myself at Federal Secretariat Ikoyi. And I made my way to the minister's office.
Okay.
Now, I wasn't fortunate. I didn't see him that same day. In fact, I went to the ministry 33 times.
Wow.
33 times, covering a period of 3 months.
Before
I
you.
could meet with the minister.
Wow.
But when I met with the minister, I felt that was it. Because he had seen somebody off to the elevator and I followed him. The friend entered the elevator and so then I blocked him. I was like, sorry sir, I've been coming here and this is my 33rd time to see you.
Wow.
He was like, what do you want? I said, I wrote a book. Then he sized me up. I said, you wrote a book? I said, yes, I did. I wrote a book on secret smoke. And I told myself, sir, I know you used to smoke before you became a minister.
He said, what kind of...
He didn't know what to do with me. He just said, okay. Then he placed his hand on my shoulder and he took me down to his office.
Wow.
Now, when my daughter told me at 5+ that she was writing a book, like I said, initially I wanted to laugh, but
Yeah.
I just remembered
What your father
the incident
did.
between me and my dad. And I said to her, no, I'm not going to repeat that.
Yeah.
So I told her, I said, okay, write your book. I'm going to publish it. And she
Wow.
stayed awake with me that night until, in fact, because of her, I had to go to bed because I discovered that if I wasn't going to go to bed,
She would still be awake.
So I stayed awake. By morning, I saw she did the half-page
Wow.
story from part of the stories because I used to tell her bedtime story. I saw the half-page thing she did and I picked it.
Wow.
I gave it to my wife. I said, Madam,
Read.
the doctor have just written a book.
Wow.
And she started laughing. I said, no, it's not a laughing matter. This is a real book. He said, books don't come in half page. I said, this one is going to come in half page. What we're going to do is, I want you to go through, because I told her, I said, I'm a media person. And I know once my daughter's book comes out, a lot of my colleagues in the media will say, hey, she didn't write that book.
Yeah.
So I said, madam, go through this book,
Exactly.
do the editing. In fact, if you see the first copy that was printed, there were errors because I refused to touch it.
Yeah.
So I just let it go the way it was. So she did the editing, then we do the size of the words, and hey, we had a book.
Wow.
So that was how the first book happened.
Came out. Okay. Mommy, let me ask you. When Daddy said she wrote a book, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
When he told me she wrote a book and I saw her face.
You say what? What kind of joke is this?
I asked him, I said, is this how you write those? He now said, no, we should not discourage her. Rather, I should go through it and kind of
Encourage her.
encourage her. And that was exactly what I did.
Wow. I've had cases where teenagers, young adults, have dreams. They want to do music or act or do something, and then their parents are saying, go and do medicine. This is not. What's your advice? I know this is supposed to come towards the end, but I want you to, I don't know, how were you able to, I know you had a case like that, but what will you tell parents who, they want their children to do something else and they are like tilting towards another angle?
Honestly, in situations like that, we're not helping the kids. Growing up as a young man, presently, for example, I don't watch football. I just don't like football. Now, I knew my dad used to buy me a lot of footballs, but I didn't have time to play them. I grew up with my grandmother, so each time I pick my balls, they were like, you this jobless boy, you don't have better things to do. So I'll just drop the ball. But you see, I had so much energy growing up. And as I was growing up, I was looking for where to expand.
Yeah.
I went into music. In fact, I went into this dancing. I contested for the John Player Disco Championship in 1984.
Wow.
I went into boxing. I registered with the Nigerian Amateur Association, doing boxing for almost like 3-4 years. I went into weightlifting.
Wow.
There was so much energy looking for where to enter.
Exactly.
Now, at that point, my parents didn't really see those things in me. All my dad was concerned was go to the university and go and read law. And man, hey, I wasn't interested in reading law. Eventually, I forced myself to go and do the law, but as it turned out to be, I was made to do psychology.
Okay.
Now, when you see the talent in your kids, the much you can do for that child is to encourage that child.
Okay.
I've seen cases where people even go study law, at the end of the day, they come out and they go into acting because their first love was acting. But probably because the parents had forced them, hey, you have to do law, you have to do medicine.
Yeah.
They obey their parents, and look at the case of Fela. Fela's dad was like, you have to read law by all means. And the guy traveled abroad and went to do his music because this is what he enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
In most cases, it's not about, we don't do things because we want to make money. We should do things that we feel comfortable doing. And the money will come out of it.
Okay.
For example, today, all the things I do are my hobbies. My profession today was my hobby.
Wow.
I just go into it. So parents should actually encourage their kids. I tell people when I talk, I said, my kids are not genius. No, it's just because we saw those talents in them and we push them to develop it. There are a lot of kids who probably do better than my kids. Sure. But because their parents are not encouraging them.
Yeah.
So all you just need to do is give your child a little push and watch the child as the child grows.
Okay. Mommy, I know the economy is somehow shaky and a lot of parents would want their kids to do just like that. You said, do something that would fetch them a lot of money, oil business and stuff like that. In that case, what can you tell a typical a parent that is thinking that way? How can you convince them to
Thinking that way is not the best for the family because the kids are your future. So you have to lay a very, very, very sound foundation for your future. In that case, you have to support the man.
Okay.
There has to be a meeting point.
Okay.
He's not going to do away with all his desires. Neither will the woman.
Yeah.
But I believe the kids comes first.
Okay.
Because they will come back to be your future.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, to continue the discussion. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we have been talking about how parents can discover and then harness the gifts, talents, skills of their kids. And I have, in the studio, Mr. and Mrs. James with their kids who have been amazing so far. Before I go to your kids, sir, I want to ask, there's a case of, I have heard the stuff with Guinness Book of Records. So can you tell me about that story?
Okay, when she did her book, I didn't really know she was actually making a record. That's the truth of the matter. A Nigerian guy based in US did a follow-up for us, and I think she easily wrote Guinness Book of Record, trying to get her name into the record book. And they told him to get in touch with us. So he contacted me. If I actually sent a staff to my office, and I tried to get in touch with Guinness Book of Record. I told them my daughter is actually the youngest published author in the world, and they referred me to the book. What we have in the Guinness Book of Record, the guy who is holding that record, I think, made that record in 1965, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
At the age of 5 years plus, 124 days, about that. And Guinness was like, okay, if she wrote her book at the age of 6, then she can be the youngest author in the world. And I tried to draw the attention to the fact that the book was presented to the public on her 6th birthday. And that means that book was done before her 6th birthday.
Okay.
There's a Champion newspaper story 2 weeks before the presentation, because Champion heard about the news and they came to interview her. Even though rather I took her to Champion. They requested I should bring her. So the Champion interviewed her. That story came out 2 weeks before the interview.
Okay.
So I sent a copy of that to them, telling them that, see, this girl did this book at 5+. It's just that it was presented on the occasion of her 6th birthday.
Okay.
And what the man said is that, well, that she might be the youngest in Africa. But not youngest in the world. Okay. And for me, I mean, that's okay, because you know, this mentality about once he's a Nigerian, he's doing something because of the money, because I understand Guinness was supposed to be paying her some money. I'm not interested in the money. I'm interested in setting the record straight. Okay. So that is just it.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. Sharon, it's time for me to hear from you. How are you doing? This is your book. So okay, tell me, what's the story about this book? Freedom.
It's about a young boy, very intelligent, obeys everybody loves him, he wants scholarship in his school. But along the line, because he meets the wrong friend, people try to advise him, but he neglected them. Then one day, the river just carried him.
Wow, because of bad company. Wow, interesting. So what was going through your mind at age 5+ to write this? Did you have any case or any story where bad company or bad friends did something?
There was this story my daddy told me about. It was about a snake, river snake, something like that. Then the snake came out of the river. They went fishing. That's kind of storyline I used. They went fishing.
Okay.
I can't really remember the They went fishing. Then the river snake came out. I can't remember the story, but I knew something about that.
Okay, so you had to use that to create your own. How did it happen? How, you know, at that age, how did you?
At that age, my daddy, I don't think I've gone to bed without my daddy reading a bedtime story with me at that age.
Okay, so that started helping you to build. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, Oloma, your turn. The Broken Beautiful Pot. Tell me about it a little bit.
Broken Beautiful Pot is talking about a girl that the father loved the girl so much, even nicknamed her my beautiful pot. So along the line, the mother decided to send the girl to the city, but the father did not agree. So the mother was like, all her friends have gone to the city, that's how she should. When the father now traveled, she now sent the girl to the city to a woman who was into prostitution.
Wow, prostitution. Wow.
So the woman was treating her to.
Was the mother jealous? Did she do the acts of jealousy?
No.
Okay, she was just innocent. Oh, okay.
But then the woman that the mother sent the girl to was into prostitution. She made her to sweep the floor and do all that. There was a day she went to a room, then the woman that was into prostitution told her that she should sleep with an old man. Then the old man forced her, then the girl became pregnant. When she wanted to give birth, she died.
Wow, that's really a broken, beautiful pot. Wow, so what's the message?
It's trying to tell mothers not to give their child out.
Okay.
And people that are into prostitution to stop it.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing message. Thank you so much. You, young man, you are there quiet. So what are you doing? Does he have any talent yourself?
Yeah,
how old are you? Okay, I didn't ask you. How old are you?
I'm
15.
I'm going to 16 on next 2 weeks Monday.
Oh wow! Happy birthday in advance.
I'm 13.
Okay, so you're going to be 14 in October, I heard. Okay, so you are 11, young man. You're 11. Okay, so you're going to be 10. Okay, so quick one, let me ask you, do you feel intimidated by your sisters, you know, their superhero stories at all? So what's your own talent? Give me two. Wow, amazing. Drumming. Thank you. That's amazing. Okay, Daddy. This show is about teaching parents to be able to discover their kids, and how can parents do that? Like we have very busy, the traffic and so many things. A lot of parents don't get to have time to even sit down with their kids, not to talk of finding what that child is good at. How can they do that with this busy, mad, schedule and busy?
Well, I don't know what advice I'm going to give based on what the economy is, but let me use my family as an example. When we got married, my wife happens to be a seamstress or a fashion designer, like I say. Remember when we got married, I pleaded with her and I said, Madam, close down the shop for now. And she was like, why? I said, because I'm not ready to take a maid to take care of my kids. I want you to take the house now as your office.
Mommy, did you like that?
Initially, I did not.
Okay.
But when I was pregnant with this pregnancy, and we were staying then at Ejigo, and my outlet was at
far.
Okay.
Far. Okay.
So there was this day I boarded a bus going at Sele, and then it was this OPC thing.
Yeah.
It was exactly the bus I was in that they came, and it was like, I was not like, what do I carry for? Was in my bag?
Wow.
The pregnancy, my life.
So you got the message.
I got my message.
Okay, that is so. Finish up the
So I think that I said stay at home and take care of the kids. Now, a lot of parents will tell you they want to make money. They want the wife to bring, the husband to bring. But you see, at the end of the day, we actually make the money and we don't take care of
we lose our kids.
It's not helping. Like I said, I don't know how a lot of parents are going to react to what I'm saying, but that's just the truth. Today, I have no regret on pleading with my wife to take care of my kids. They are there, they are shining the example, everybody could see it.
Yeah.
And like I always said, and like I've said before, it's not because they are genius, it's just because we've dedicated time for them.
Wow.
And that is one thing I actually preach to a lot of parents to do. If you keep on the social media, we've seen a lot of videos about housemaids and what they do to the kids. I don't think any mother would want to do that to her own child.
True.
So why don't we just spare some time and take care of these kids? Let them bring them up the way we want them to be. It's not about giving cash. If you give your child all the money on earth, it's not going to make any difference.
True.
Just last week I met two kids, two boys or two men, who their father was well known in this country. When I said well, I mean well known. I look at them and I just cried. Because I was like, if their dad is alive and see them, what will they say?
Wow.
It's not about the cash.
Yes.
It's about the time.
True.
You have to dedicate some time.
Invest time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Before we, round off the show, Sharon, I know you are doing so much. You're an ambassador. You went to Ghana to do something recently. You've been doing. Yeah. Okay. You got an award.
Yeah, she got a Kwame Nkrumah award from Ghana.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about that. It's on the book.
No, it's not on the book yet.
Okay.
That was just last year, 2015.
Okay.
She has received about 7 awards. She got one from the United States of America. She got one from Ghana. Then the other 5 is within Nigeria.
Wow, amazing. And I saw you signing, getting an autograph. You were writing an autograph of Wole Soyinka, Amechi.
That was when Amechi was the governor of Rivers State.
Wow. Okay, Oluwebube, I want you to, Oluwebube, Sharon James, Freedom. I just want you to read one paragraph from your book.
I'm going to be reading from chapter 5, the last paragraph.
Okay.
Freedom never came back. His scholarship was given to another pupil. His friends never saw him again. His father, teachers, and even his friends but never saw him again. He was gone forever just because he wanted to be real. He wanted to be just like his name. He wanted to be free. He wanted to be freedom. He did not want to be like his father's name, which is obedience.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
But I want to say something.
Yeah,
Freedom didn't die. I'm going to write my next book.
Oh, a comeback.
Comes back.
Is that home video, Nigerian home video part 2? I like that.
Because it's my main character, so it's supposed to die.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you for that. So, Oloma, your advice to other young girls that are looking up to you?
My advice is that whatever they know how to do best, they should do it. And like when their friends are pushing them, like when you want to go to science or arts and your friends are pushing you to go to science, that you should just do what you want to do. If you want to go for
They should disobey their parents and okay. So the advice is they should follow their parents or say, no, daddy, I want to do my own thing. Okay, so that's.
I think they have an idea where she's.
Okay, so that's you saying don't agree. I love that. Give me high five. Thank you so much, because I know a lot of kids are thinking the same way. Thank you. So daddy, help me. We are rounding up. Help me advise the daddies. Mommy, you're going to do the same thing too.
Okay, one thing I would call on parents to do is observe your child, find out what your child is very good at doing, encourage your child, do all you can to encourage your child. It might not be very easy. Encouragement is not just about the money here, it's not about giving the child money. The child, if the child can sing, for example, let the child keep singing at home. Don't say that each time the child is singing,
they're making noise.
The child is making noise. No, allow the child to sing. No, seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
Let the child sing. He gets used to it. We've all heard about the stories of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
We heard the stories of the Serena sisters.
Yeah.
If their parents didn't start from the grassroots, they wouldn't have made it.
True.
And today we all love them. We worship them.
True.
So why don't we can create the same thing for our kids?
True. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're
Mommy, the advice
The
to mommies.
advice to mommies is still the same. Once you discover your child has this special talent, not negative ones anyway, positive ones, encourage. And whereby you even notice there is a negative one, there should be a forum for the two of you.
To
it's
talk.
not going to be a force. If you force, the child will continue.
True. True.
Or point out the disadvantages to the child. You talk like an adult with the child.
Okay.
It's
Thank
simple.
you. Thank you. And are you advising mothers to leave their jobs to pay attention to their kids?
That it worked for me does not mean it will work for.
Thank you for saying that. Guys, we'll be right back to end the show. Welcome back. This is the part where I get to answer your questions sent from home. Today, I have this question from an 18-year-old girl. She says, Auntie Chichi, please, what is the right age to get married? I'm 18 and my parents are encouraging me to get married to someone who is helping our family financially. I got to ask her, I got to send her an email and I said, are you really into this? You know, it has nothing to do with the age. It has everything to do with the age, but somehow, if you are emotionally matured to handle it, then yes. If you are not because the person is helping your family financially, you're going to regret it. Marriage is not something that you just enter because of what you are getting now. That thing, that river that you think is flowing, it just cease. I would tell you, 18 is not a very good age to marry, especially if you are not mentally, emotionally, physically matured, and if you are not entering into it by yourself. Your parents are pushing you because of what they are getting from the so-called man. I need you to rethink. I got married at the age of 21 because I was matured. I was a graduate already. I know you are sending this question because of you've heard me tell my story. I got married 21, but I was a graduate and I wanted to do it. And my father saw, you are matured, you are emotionally matured. I don't think you are emotionally mature to handle this. So I think you need to speak to your parents. Talk to your parents and talk to the husband-to-be. Tell him, ask him this question. If I marry you today and I'm not happy tomorrow, are you going to be okay? You don't want to enter into marriage first. Everything about you will suffer. So I need you to negotiate with them and tell them they should give you enough time to think about it. And trust me, you need to go to school because education is one thing that would help you, that will keep you going. That marriage, you may enter that marriage because it has money and the money may not be there forever. So I need you to rethink. 18 is too young. I know Kanon got married his wife at the age of 18, but she was already mature. 18 is too young. Please rethink, have everything, discuss with your parents and let them give you a break, I beg. Let them, let them shift. Plan your life. You have a long way to go. You have a whole long way to go. Plan your life, get your act together. Thank you for sending that question. And guys, feel free to send me any question and I'll be glad to answer. The numbers, the email, everything is showing on the screen. We'll be right back to end the show. Okay guys, thank you for sending in your questions and feel free, if you have Any questions, look at the screen. You will see the numbers and the emails. Feel free to send me your questions and I will be glad to answer. I'm going to end the show with one of the James's kids, Uzoma. She is super talented. Apart from writing, she sings and she is also a dancer. So today, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Uloma for her to do her dance and give us her moves. Thank you. Until I come your way next time, remember my favorite quote. Life will not give you what you deserve. It is what you decide. You are not too young to make the right decisions. Start living your life today. Do the right thing. God bless you. Bye.